So when is the best time to engage your builder? Well, in my opinion, it's right from the start. See, my advice to anyone either considering renovating or building a new custom home is to engage a preferred builder as early as possible, and preferably during the design development. The reason this is so important to the overall success or the potential delivery of your project is that whilst architects and engineers might be specialists in their fields of design, it is the builder who specialises on delivering on the build to the client's core drivers of quality, time and cost. And with the engagement of the right builder during the design development, a client should take confidence the design and planning process proceeds in sync with their expectation of quality and budget. By bringing on a builder during the design stage, the client can benefit from the builder's skill set to provide options to build the project successfully, not just price a project successfully. As one of Brisbane's leading architects, Adsett recently advocated in his interview on the Property Development podcast, to de-risk a project, he brings in the builder up front.
So when you talk about the construction cost risk and that being a major concern to you, which you addressed by working with a good contractor, can you talk to me about how you de-risk that or the steps that you took to get yourself comfortable?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something I do very early on. So we write the project feasibility and I like to bring a builder in almost upfront on a project. And it sounds ridiculous. Most people say, oh, go out to a competitive tender, do this X, Y, Z. That's the traditional form of the profession of architecture, to get a whole swathe of drawings and then put it out to the market, but to get the most competitive price. But I know exactly how builders work, and the more complex and detailed a project seems or appears, typically the higher the price will be. So I think if you can bring a builder in early and use their expertise and knowledge and work with them, you'll actually get the best out of the builder and their skill sets. And there's a genuine collaboration occurs there where everyone has a vested interest in quality up front, knowing that that's the primary driver, but it needs to be built into the budget. Otherwise, there is no project. So the builder knows it, the architect knows it, the developer knows it. Everyone has the common goal there of seeing the project succeed, and there's a financial benefit to the builder to being a part of that team, and knowing what the core drivers are around price, time, quality, all these expectations. They become part of the team rather than this more adversarial approach where you go out to a tender and line up all these competitors against each other. I don't think it does well. I actually think the only people that win out of that process is typically the subcontractors, because invariably the builders are all using the same subcontractors to tender a project. So, it just becomes who's going to pad their price the least in order to win the bid. Some really good intel there saved. I think we ended up saving about $300,000 or $400,000 on the cost of cranes across that project. So, again, you just don't get that intel unless you get a builder in early, and you can make those larger decisions about how to build a project successfully, not just price a project successfully.
What you're trying to avoid is going through all the design development and approvals process after not only investing a great amount of money, but also time and energy, only to find that the cost to build your dream home is nowhere near your budget. The end result is either winding back significantly on the design, or in worst case scenario, binning the approved design as the gap between the cost to build and the budget is too great.
I wanted to ask about that from a commercial perspective. When you put your commercial hat on as the developer and you're also balancing your desire as an architect, is there a juggling act to play between those commercial imperatives of delivering a profitable project and your design sensibility of delivering something that's really beautiful?
Absolutely. And just coming up with really expensive, lavish finishes or things that look incredible but just cost a fortune to build. And we've all been there as an architect, as a practitioner for our clients, and kind of design things that are over budget or out of, just couldn't be built, and there's this kind of process called value management where it's all wound back. Bringing the builder in early, you can throw all these ideas on the table and come up with solutions that are viable and cost effective, so that the interests of the project can be balanced and we can do incredible things up front and embed them in the kind of DNA of the project to make them intrinsic to the approval and the offering to the consumer. Just doing it in isolation is a really dangerous game. So an architect without any commercial kind of imperative can actually be a burden upon a project.
The engagement of the right builder during the design process is an invaluable measure you can take to ensure that a successful design delivers quality and budget.